and gentlemen, we promised you this interview with none other than Diamond Dallas Page, and we're bringing it to you right here, right now on Pro Wrestling Powerhouse Radio. We are so excited. I'm so pumped up. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Here he is, Diamond Dallas Page.
High five.
Mr. Page, how are you tonight?
Unstoppable, bro. How about you?
Oh, hanging in there. Here at the East Coast, I'm a Jersey guy, man, from New Jersey. We got all this snow, horrible weather, but we're kicking it, keeping it real here on Pro Wrestling Powerhouse Radio. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's an honor and privilege to have you on the line.
Now, what part of Jersey are you from?
I'm from the shore. I'm from Toms River.
I went to Monsignor Donovan back when it was called St. Joe's, and then I got thrown out of there in 10th grade. And then I went back to Point Borough.
I was going to ask you, I loved growing up here at the Jersey Shore. It's such a great place to be at. Do you ever come back?
Awesome. All the time. My mom's there, my sister's there, my nieces are there, so I come up there all the time. Anytime I do anything in New York, you pretty much guarantee I'm down the shore somewhere. Just spending time with family, and my sister lives in Bayhead Shores, which she's got a nice little 40-foot sailboat. Her husband Paulie, we go out sailing and shit. So sweet.
Beautiful, beautiful. Listen, I'm a big proponent of physical fitness, staying in shape. Every pro wrestler we have here on the air, no matter if they're a new guy in the business or they're an old school cat, I always talk to them about the benefits of physical fitness and staying in shape. And you're the perfect guy to have on the line because I just recently started DDP Yoga. And I got to tell you, I sent you a tweet last week about how I've been working out in the gym for years and I have this lower back pain that's just been consistent for about, 5-10 years. And it's gone from doing a few sessions of DDP Yoga. So I really can't put it over enough. And it's not just because I'm on the line with you. I've been talking about it week after week. And just let the wrestling fans out there know for me, please, Mr. Page. Let them know why they should join up with DDP Yoga and take on the DDP Yoga Challenge.
Well, I developed this workout out of necessity. I'm a guy who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga. I'm a Jersey Shore guy. We don't do yoga there. But
right.
we would do DDP Yoga because, the tagline fits, "It ain't your mama's yoga." And it was something that healed my body. Like you're talking about having a bad back and dealing with that. I have so many people on Facebook. We got over 40,000 likes, 45,000 likes up on, one word, DDPYOGA. I don't even listen to a word that I'm saying. Go there and read what people write. Because just like you can't make, 20,000 people chant DDP, you can't make people write that stuff up once in a while maybe, but not every day, in and out. I've got fibromyalgia. I was in so much pain. After doing DDP Yoga for 3 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it is, it's gone. Chris Jericho was the greatest testimony ever to me because he was in the same position I was when I developed DDP Yoga. They told him he was done wrestling. That was 3 years ago. And he herniated his L4. After he saw the video of the disabled veteran, Arthur Borman, that I helped walk and run again, and lose 140 pounds, but more importantly, he lost the knee braces, the back brace, and the wraparound canes. When Chris saw that video, he called me up and he said, "D, you tell me what to do, I'll do it." And in 5 weeks, he was 85% pain-free. Within 3 months, he was 100% pain-free and headlined WrestleMania 2 years ago with Punk. Now, the really cool thing about that story is he took off about 6 months, a couple months after WrestleMania, and he toured with Fozzy because he couldn't even sing and hit the notes and run around stage. His back was so screwed up. So he goes and he tours with Fozzy for 6 months. And then last year, it's around the corner right now, it was a year ago, he showed up at the Royal Rumble, and he had the number 2 spot. In wrestling, you're going to blow sky high in the first 5, 6, 7 minutes, but not if you're doing DDP Yoga. Chris Jericho does one workout, DDP Yoga. He went in the number 2 spot. He wrestled 47 minutes and 53 seconds. If that doesn't show conditioning, and he looks amazing, and he's 43, and he's bumping around like he's 23, it all speaks for itself. But you can even look at guys like Ryback, who's back in the day after he blew his leg out 2 years ago, came back with DDP Yoga, and does it all the time. And the best one recently is Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes has never been in as good a shape as he is in today. He has never moved around the ring as freely and as smoothly as he does today. He's 44 years old. He was at the DDP Yoga retreat last year.
Yeah, man. It's phenomenal. I've been doing the basics. I've been doing the Diamond Dozen basically every day. I've been using the Energy DDP Yoga because I tried to go advanced, but I'm not there yet. And that's the thing is I thought I was in good shape, but doing yoga, DDP Yoga, has just pushed my limits, and I'm loving it so far. And what really got me to notice DDP Yoga was Arthur, the video on Arthur, and I shared it all over social media. I've watched it numerous times, and if it's not the greatest story I've ever seen in my life, I don't know what is. It's amazing seeing him actually instructing on DDP Yoga, on the videos and everything. Tell us a bit about his journey from your perspective.
Back when Arthur did the first DDP Yoga DVDs, they were original Wired G workouts. And when I released the app that'll come out in about 6 months, those workouts are all going to be on there. I'm going to have like 60 workouts on this app. And every month, it'll be growing by a minimum of 8 to 10 new workouts every month. Because I never do the same workout, ever. There's just so many different ways to go. But Arthur was the best case that I didn't know who he was. Anybody who bought the DVDs back then, and that's all there was. It wasn't like it is today where it's a complete fitness system where you not only get the DVDs, you get MP3s, you get the program guide, which really breaks down not just how to eat on 3 different levels, and also teaches you how to set goals and journal your stuff and, set yourself up to win. And a whole poster that breaks down the Diamond Dozen. It only had DVDs. And what happened was everybody who bought the program back then, I would send them an email saying, hey, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I want to thank you for believing in the program and getting it. But I also would love to answer a couple questions. And it was 5 of them. And he answered them, unbelievably. So I wrote him back. I said, it sounds like you could use some help, my friend. I said, tell me a little bit about yourself. And the first thing he wrote, he said, I've relegated to thinking of myself as a piece of furniture. He said, I'm a disabled veteran. He said, I'm morbidly obese. And he went on with a few things about that. And I was like, wow, God, send me a picture so I know what I'm looking at. And that's in that video you hear me say, and he sent me those pictures with the knee braces and the back brace and those wraparound canes. I was like, whoa, man. The weight didn't bother me. I got knee braces, so I get that too. I didn't know he was wearing a back brace strapped into the knee braces that took 20 minutes to put on every morning. His wife had to put that on him. I was looking at those wraparound canes. I was thinking, fuck. How am I going to help this guy? And I've been working with a guy named Dr. Fred Bishy. And Fred had developed an eating plan that I lost 22 pounds in 6 weeks, but I didn't want to be 250 anymore. I just wanted to lean up. And I couldn't believe I was losing that weight. And so I had to change it back up around because I didn't want to get any skinnier than 225 pounds. I was like, whoa, I don't want to get leaner than that. The last thing I want to do is look like a damn yogi. So I started putting other stuff back into the eating plan. But I knew that worked for me, and I knew I wish I could eat like that all the time, because you feel like you're forever 26. It's just so healthy. So I sent that eating plan to him. And it's a little, it's a little detailed and, it's a little restringent. And if he writes back to me, well, I think I could do this, or I think I'll give it a try, I would have wrote back to him, awesome, keep me posted. But he didn't. He wrote back to me, I can do this. One of the greatest quotes ever is by the automotive king, Henry Ford. His quote was, if you can or you think you can't, you're right. Well, Arthur wrote to me, I can do this. I said, send me your phone number. That's the first guy I ever called. I didn't know Adam. I met him off the internet, and he was a pupil that I was going to mentor. And that's what it was. I didn't do the work for him. I told him what to do. He lost 34 pounds the first month. Now, you have to understand, this isn't in the video. His goal is to lose 50 pounds when he starts to work out. Both his knees were fucked. Botched surgeries. He wanted to lose 50 pounds so we could get the doctors to work on him and rebuild his knees. That's the goal. But because I put him on an eating plan that was real food, not processed fucking garbage, no fake food, real food, because we put him on a healthy eating plan, his body healed itself from the inside with the food plan and the outside with a minimal joint impact workout that could strengthen your core like never before and dramatically increase your flexibility and breaking up scar tissue. So he lost 34 pounds that first month. The second month, he lost 22 pounds. That's 56. The third month, he lost 18 pounds. That's 72. So what happened, he kept losing and he kept working. In 10 months, he lost 140 pounds. More importantly, he lost those knee braces, the back brace, and those wraparound canes. More importantly, he's never had his knees operated on.
Unbelievable.
So when you had a testimony like that, and it grabs Chris Jericho, grabs Jake Roberts, and it grabs Scott Hall, and it grabs a number of people, like tens of thousands, it's a pretty amazing thing, man.
Yeah, it is. It's if that's not enough reason to check out DDP Yoga and purchase DDP Yoga and just take the challenge, I don't know what is. It's just an incredible video, an incredible story, and it's heart-wrenching. It's just amazing. I couldn't help but tear up, and I'll admit it here live. First time I watched it. Scott, you mentioned Scott Hall and Jake the Snake. We had Jake the Snake with us on the air a little over a month ago, and we talked to him for a little bit about his journey as well back to a good place in his life. And he said a lot of good things about you, about DDP Yoga, as you would know. And his story's been well documented. That it was pretty dire straits for Jake the Snake. So tell us a little bit about him from your vantage point.
Well, we've got everything documented. The ups, the downs, the ins, the outs, the triumphs. It all started with the idea of the resurrection of an icon. And nobody could have pulled himself in a hole farther than Jake did. From as high as he had risen to as low as he could go. In Jake's words, he stopped dreaming. Not just while he was sleeping, while he was awake. Dreams are what make us all move forward. If you don't have any dreams, why move forward? If you don't have any wishes, wants, needs, he had none of that. Michael Graham from the famous Graham family in Florida killed himself. Jake had been on the program about a month. He's still living in Texas. And he called me up, and Michael is a good friend of mine. He gave me a big break at Florida Championship Wrestling, got to know Dusty Rhodes, who would become my mentor and closest confidant, besides Jake, in the wrestling business. And he opened up a whole new world to me. You know, let me be a color commentator at Florida Championship Wrestling. When he died, Jake called me up, and he said, dude, that could have been me. And he said, I got to tell you, Dallas, I haven't had dreams for years. Not when I'm awake and not when I'm sleeping. He goes, last night I had a dream. He goes, awake, I've got dreams. You know, he wanted to come back to the business that he loved and leave on his own terms. Two Mondays ago at Raw, all the hard work was put out there for the world to see. And I'm very grateful to Triple H and to Vince McMahon for giving Jake that opportunity and belief in him to do that. You know, there's only one more hurdle left, and that is at some point for him to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And you know, if it's not this year, we're cool with that. You know, because you take baby steps with the WWE when you blow up and nuke bridges on the way out.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and Jake didn't blow up the bridge; he nuked it. So, man was really kind, big time, in letting me do a damn near mini have fun infomercial for friggin' DDP Yoga, and gave me Booker T and Ron Simmons to do it with. So, I couldn't think of anything better than that. If me and him ever had any differences, they were all settled 2 Mondays ago. Because he gave me back. He couldn't give me the world title, and it means to me as much as he did giving me that. Because that was an awesome opportunity. But to have Jake come out in the same show and really solidify everything that we're doing, it really was like an amazing thing. Like I say, our hope and our, it's just a hope. It's not like, oh God, it's got to happen. If Jake doesn't get in the Hall of Fame this year, not a big deal. I'm sure he'll be a little disappointed, but bottom line is, I really feel good about next year big time. So that's our journey, And we've been filming the resurrection of Jake the Snake for 16 months now. I'm in L.A. right now, actually, going down the West Coast, heading to San Diego, and then in Tijuana. My girl's got breast cancer, so I've been back and forth today, over the last few months. That's my 7th or 8th time going back into Tijuana. But I was up in what's it called? Ventura, California. And Jake and I shot it was his 3rd day on the movie, and it was my 1st day, and I'll have to go back next week for a couple days. But Roddy Piper was supposed to do the part, and he got pulled because WWE had some stuff for their Legends House. They're promoting the hell out of that right now. That's going to be on the new WWE channel that airs in February 24th. So, and I heard Roddy loved it. He had a great time doing it. And, he couldn't do the movie. I was disappointed because I couldn't do the part with him. But Jake got the spot. So it was like, wow. It's all about things going full circle. So to me, I couldn't be any happier for my buddy. He's my mentor. It's all through wrestling, and I just became his mentor in life and how to turn your life around. I didn't do any of the work. Jake could be a handful at times, no question. That'll come out in the movie. When this movie comes out, this documentary movie comes out, man, people are going to love it because we don't pull any punches. We put a lot of shit up there on DDP TV, but there's a lot of shit no one's ever seen. So we're going to bring it all out. That movie's going to be amazing. The problem is we could probably make it a 9-hour movie, you know.
Yeah.
But we're not going to do that. We got to figure out a way to get it down to about 90 minutes, you know. So
yeah, throw a bunch of extras on there, a bunch of deleted scenes.
There'll be a bunch of shit like that without question.
Yeah, it's there's too much tragedy in pro wrestling. This is a great, uplifting, positive story. And my co-host Toph is a huge Diamond Dallas Page fan. He's in the South, and he just loved WCW growing up. So he's got a question for you right now. And go ahead, Toph.
Oh, how you doing, Mr. Page?
Hey, buddy. Call me Dallas or DDP. You ain't got to call me Mr. Page. I appreciate it, but you don't need to do that.
Okay, I'm just going to call you Mr. DDP then.
That'll work. Whatever works for you, bro.
Well, one question I've always wanted to know is, did you enjoy your run in WWE? I know a lot of fans thought that it could have been handled better, but looking back, it looked like you had a good time and you enjoyed yourself and you used it as an opportunity. So I would really like it if you could just explain if you really enjoyed it or any disappointments or regrets or anything like that.
I don't really regret anything, only because I learned so much from that judgment call, we'll call it, because I could have done People's Champion versus People's Champion. All that I do is get up and walk away from the table and say, you know what, Vince, this is a great idea, you know, the stalker angle, but not for me. When you want to do People's Champion versus People's Champion, that's money. You bring that, and I'm in. And if I just got up and walked away from the table, but I didn't, and it was a judgment call that was really not the best for my interest. And I tell you, what I learned from it, I've got a multi-million-dollar business. You know, DDP Yoga, for 8.5 years, I didn't make a dime. It cost me. When DDP Yoga finally took off, I was $550,000 of my own money in it. Not other people's money, mine. Since then, I made more money than I ever made in wrestling. It's not about the money to me. It's about how I'm changing people's lives and just the amazing karma. And it goes back to that meeting with Vince McMahon. Because what I learned was you can't just say yes to anything, especially if it's not your dream, if it's not your goal. I learned don't let anyone sway you from your dream. Again, I'm making more money than I ever have. Ever. And that's saying something. And it ain't about the money to me. Just like when I wrestled, though. It wasn't about the money. It was about living the dream. I'm living the dream at a whole different level. And indirectly, I may owe that to Vince McMahon. And then, he turns around and gives me that spot on Nitro on top of that. So here's my favorite moments in the WWE. The first day I got there, unbelievable pop. Great interview. Didn't really like the way it ended, but it still was a great interview. The pop was awesome. The entrance was amazing. WrestleMania 18, I got to wrestle what I consider one of the best workers in the business. Christian can make a match with anyone and be believable as hell and be out there just busting his ass. WrestleMania 18, that was a hell of a match we had. Under 10 minutes, because I think it was 9 minutes or like 48 seconds, I challenge anybody to put that match up to any other pay-per-view match and tell me it's not at the top of the card as far as matches that were given up in 10 minutes. And 2 Mondays ago, those are my favorite moments. And my relationship with the WWE is the best it's ever been. Again, look at what they did for me 2 Mondays ago with me and for Jake. I just got done taking DDP Yoga to the WWE Performance Center. Raved reviews. Everybody loved it. Everybody's got the program. Everyone's down there. There was one of the girls that wasn't there who was up at TV who came up to me and she said, Diamond, I'm so sorry I wasn't at the workout. I'm so bummed I missed it. Is there any way, that I could get the workout? And I said, maybe I just have to have one here. She goes, oh, my God, you got it now? Because they get it. People under 28, they don't give a shit that it's the part of the name is yoga. They're like, cool, it's yoga. No, it's not yoga. It's DDP Yoga. It's the people over 30 that got a problem with the word yoga. Because, they're just raised different. It's a different generation. But today, there's friggin' in high schools and there's like whole things around gay communities and shit. And everyone's like, oh, cool, come on over. It's not like, oh my God, he's gay. It's like, hey, dude, come on in. We're hanging out tonight. Nobody gives a shit. Well, not the real people, And the people who do, well, that's their problem. The bottom line is, it's just that, it's a different world out there, And I'm just happy to get 57 years young just to be in it, and enjoying the ride.
Oh, well, I'm happy you have such a positive perspective on it. I hope this clears up a lot of the fans' interpretations of it. I know there's a lot of other questions fans want to ask you, so I'll just ask one more. I don't want to take up too much of your time. One of my favorite moments ever was when you were dressed as La Parka and you gave Savage the diamond cutter. Was that your idea, or Savage's idea, or Bischoff's, or a mixture of all three?
I don't know. I want to say it was Bischoff's idea, but it could have been somebody else's. But I'll tell you who knew about that night. It might have been maybe Terry Taylor's. I'm not sure whose it was. Terry Taylor might have came up with the idea. I believe Terry knew, Sully knew, Kevin Sullivan, Eric Bischoff, Randy Savage, me, and La Parker. That was it. No one else knew. Sort of like how they brought Jake Roberts back 2 Monday nights ago. No one knew. I knew. I'm not going to tell anybody. I knew, and I know Hunter knew, Vince knew, and it was like 6 people who knew. And so when you have that kind of surprise, what's really the back scene behind that whole deal was La Parka didn't speak much English. So when I got with him, I was trying to do sign language, like show me how you do your shit. I mean, I'd seen it a bunch of times, but I wanted to mimic it. So I got his walk down and the chair thing and just all his little head moving stuff. And you didn't know. Nobody knew. That was one of my favorite moments ever. That was a great call. Good comment.
Thank you, Mr. Page, or Mr. DDP. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, okay, DDP, I'm going to go to my buddy Will in just a second, but we just saw Mick Foley do his live stand-up the other night here in he was in New Brunswick, and his big finale was this great story, this amazing story about how, and you obviously know the story, but from your perspective, what were you thinking when you got in that bed and there was chocolate chip cookies all over the place?
Well, I got to remember, Steve and Jack, I was 35 or 36 maybe even, on the cot because I'm the rookie, and them two, veterans who got like 3 or 4 years in, they're 25. So and I used to you could piss me off pretty easily back then. And, we just called it selling, just doing, getting, not cracking, cracking under pressure. So they would love to do that to me. And, because I'd be funny. I'm very animated and Jersey-ish, so they love that. And when he put them damn cookies in it, I knew it was that son of a bitch because he was laughing like a kid, who farted in church, that kind of laughing. And then Steve was laughing. I just got done doing Steve Austin's podcast. I guess it'll be up here this week sometime. It was one of the best podcasts ever. Me and him were just on the fire today telling stories and shit. But They start laughing. Steve won't even look. He's like, he's facing the wall. And they're both laughing. And I had a good buzz going. So I just grabbed all those cookies and this shit and just jumped up with my naked ass, started bouncing up and down on them. You know, so I was pissed. And then we all, of course, started laughing. And then, you know, I forgot that story until Smokey, the guy who wrote my book with me, Positively Page, we both wrote it together. Dude, I grew up with ADD and dyslexia. I was reading it, you know, at a third grade level at the age of 30. So I wouldn't write no book by myself. When I started teaching myself how to read at 32, I sure as shit ain't writing no book by myself. You know, when I was working at 42, but I did it with Smoke. And he interviewed everybody. They got all that stuff. And when we interviewed Jack, he told that story. And we had it in our books, and then he put it in his book, and then it got, you know, famous through that. And then he did the bit when I was out in L.A. and had one of my buddies named Moser. He played me, and he just did the fuck part. He didn't do anything but fuck. And out of that, Mick Foley is one of the smartest guys in our business, ever come out of our business. And I've always said that. Like, he thought that, you know, he was just going to, you know, begin and end as a wrestler. And rides that we would take, I would go, Mick, you're bigger than that. You don't get it. You're not just a fucking wrestler. You're going to have a whole other career, all that shit. He actually gave me props for giving him the inspiration to take the guts to write his first book.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool, you know, and I love Mick Foley. I wish to God he'd let me help him. You know, he's tried 3 times, but as hard as that motherfucker worked in the ring, he's got zero work ethic for his body when that's the vehicle that he will, you know, spend in for the next whatever years God allows him to live. And he's treated that body worse than anybody has ever, besides maybe Jeff Hardy. You know?
Yeah.
Just the shit that he's done to himself. And he's going to pay the price. And he won't let me help him now. And I'm not going to force anybody. You know, I'll tell him, you're a fucking retard, man. Come on, let me help you. But he knows he's got the open door. He'd come down to Accountability Crib. I told him I would go to his house and move in with him for a week. There's a reality show.
Yeah.
Move in with him for a week.
We noticed he was walking. I mean, he's been through hell, obviously. He put his body on the line for our enjoyment for so many years. But he was walking a little bit gingerly. You know, he can't get around as good anymore. And he's a big dude. He's a lot bigger than I thought he was. I've never seen him that close.
Yeah, he's funny as hell, too, ain't he, man? His stick is awesome.
Yeah,
His
I put it over before.
Is awesome.
Yeah, people need to go see it. He's going to be in New York, right here in the Tri-State area, very, very soon. I think sometime next month. Just a couple more questions for you, DDP, and then we'll let you roll. My buddy Will TLD Vafides, he's an independent pro wrestler. He's on the line with us right now. He's my co-host. Will, go ahead.
Hey DDP, nice to talking to you. I met you last year in New York. It was awesome talking to you, taking a good photo with you. A friend of mine went to Monsignor Donovan as well. There is some truth to the fact that there is some kind of a shrine of you in Monsignor Donovan. Is that true? I don't know if you've heard of that or seen it.
No, I didn't know that, but you know, I was there for a year and a half.
Yeah, there's actually yes, he actually mentioned that there is some picture of you, at least as far as like famous athletes, or I don't go to that school, but he did say that they have some kind of a shrine of you in there. So you are a member for that year and a half. So,
that's funny.
I went to WrestleMania 18, and one of the things you brought up was that match, and I just there were 2 things I was looking forward to the most between The Rock and Hogan, and it was you, because I never seen you live before, and you kind of touched on it, but the 2 WrestleManias you were involved in, 6 and 18, talk about the Sky Dome, because that arena was amazing to be in, and the atmosphere was amazing. I mean, talk about just the whole idea of just being in 2 WrestleManias and, you know, just being at the Sky Dome.
Yeah, I'll tell you, to really put it in perspective for you, because I did drop the ball, and that's why I don't ever blame Vince on any of this shit. because I show up in the Sky Dome with my pink Cadillac, 62 pink Cadillac convertible. I didn't get the gig. Luke, the bushwhacker, who was a good buddy of mine, from coming to my club, not for me being a wrestler. Later on, it would be the wrestler and all that. But he talked to Pat Patterson, said, DDP's got, the guy from AWA, he's got his own 62 pink Cadillac. You should try to get him to, try to get to the car, to use the car. And he asked me how much the car would be. I said, if you let me drive it, nothing. And they did. That's how I got the gig, because it's all about relationships. And I knew I would find a couple of relationships up there through that. And that's where I met Hulk. And Hulk came up to me. I didn't come up to him. And he just started asking me something, because he watched everything. He really wanted to know why I wasn't wrestling. And I told him I thought I was too old and all that, blah, blah, blah. But that was a great experience. Now, the next time I go up there is 2 years before WrestleMania 18. And I'm up there because we have a pay-per-view on that, I believe it was Sunday. The Saturday night, the WWE was in town, and they were wrestling at the same place at the Sky Dome. And when I got there, they rushed me up to, because none of the boys ever showed up at the others, with WCW and WWF shows, because that meant you wanted a job. And I just signed a 3-year multi-million-dollar job. I didn't want a job. So, I went to, I went in the building, and Pat Patterson, who knew me from way back in the day, he had me, like I said, he rushed me upstairs to Big Show's box. And I watched the show. Big Show came up, after intermission, because he wrestled at intermission. He was the champ then. And then he had me and him go downstairs when we were leaving the show, and he said, "Do you want to meet The Rock?" And I said, "Yeah, I want to meet The Rock." So I love what he's doing right now. Now, you got to remember, at the time, I was on top of the world. And Rock was on a rocket, but he wasn't over me at that time. So I came in that locker room, and Big Show called him, and he came out, and we sat down and we talked, and he was just the nicest guy, very polite, very cordial. And I told him, I said, Jake Roberts told me that you were going to be really, really hot, and he told me to keep an eye on your career, and I have. I've been blown away by, recently by your thing of The Rock this and The Rock that. And then I caught an interview of you not too long ago where you were being yourself, Dwayne Johnson, and then you threw into The Rock this and back to Dwayne Johnson, then The Rock that. I thought, dude, that was really entertaining. I said, I wish you a lot of luck in your career. So I'm leaving. And then, as I'm about to walk down this long corridor, and Big Show's behind me, I hear, "Hey, Diamond." And Big Show leans out of the way so I can see him, and there's Rock. That's back in the Versace shirt era, those $1,500, $2,000 Versace shirts he used to wear. And he says, Diamond, there's only one People's Champion. And Big Show goes, "Oh, man." And I just stood there. And we were locked on each other. I said, "You know what, Rock? You're right. And you, my friend, well, you're looking at him." Oh, and I went out the door. So that thing that we did that was so spontaneous, I went back to my room that night. Big Show's like, "Oh, my God, you stuffed him. Nobody does that to him." I went back to my room that night after going out drinking all night with Big Show, woke Kimberly up and told her, "This is how I'm going to show up at a WWF." And I freaking laid it all out. She's like, "What are you talking about?" She's half asleep. "What are you talking about? You signed a multi-million-dollar contract." I'm like, "I'm going to end up in the WWF. I'm from Jersey. I have to end up here in my career." And that's a big quote. And And I said, what's going to happen is they're going to turn off all the lights. And everybody's going to think Chris Jericho's there. But it's not going to go 5, 10 seconds. It's going to go 20, 30 seconds, no lights. And then for the first time ever, you're going to hear my voice in a WWF arena. Who's the real People's Champion? Spotlight. Only a spotlight hits me. You're looking at him. Throw the diamond cutter up, do the bang, boom, 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 the explosions, go to the ring. I literally said to Kimberly, Rock will be hurt. He'll be out. Or he'll be doing a movie or something. Rock wasn't doing movies at that time. He hadn't even got anywhere near movies yet. But I laid it out in my mind. And then when I got the opportunity to go there, they were so jumped and psyched about that stalker thing that it was like my shit got pushed to the side. And I didn't stick with my goal. I saw that. I envisioned that. Do you guys know what movie Rock was doing when we came in to do that invasion thing?
I think he was
doing the Mummy.
The middle of. Yeah, he was doing Scorpion King.
Right. God and my manifestation in my head, which everything I've ever set out to do, I've done. Everything. There's nothing that I've said I'm going to do it and I haven't done it. And if you think that wrestling was hard, coming in at 35 and blowing up at 40, that would be like, it will never be done again. But it was impossible coming from the angle, but I did it because I believed in myself. I set goals, and I just kept working my ass off. But that would be easy compared to taking something like DDP Yoga and saying, you know what, I'm going to develop my own yoga program. Oh, wait a minute. It's not for the people who do yoga. They got all their fucking yoga. I'm going to fucking make it for people who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga. I'm going to change the fucking meaning of the word yoga. Well, 67,000 plus copies later, we're doing that. In 3 to 5 years, boys, in 3 to 5 years, DDP Yoga will be a household worldwide name. Worldwide.
That would be something, actually. You think the WWE Network would have something like that? Because a lot of wrestling fans could probably use a lot of that, physical fitness and training. And do you think DDP Yoga could be a spotlighted feature on the network?
I think there's something there for it, but we're going to have our own network. DDP Yoga is poised to be the Netflix of fitness. Remember I said that too. When you see our app come out, ain't no other app out there like it. Nothing, nobody can copy it. Can't be done unless I'm doing it. Just can't be done. So we do stuff with WWE all the time, and anything they ever want me to do, I'm all on board. I know they have nothing but really good. Like, look on Monday night 2 weeks ago. They got nothing but good stuff for what we're doing, and respect and love. So I couldn't be any happier, man. And I'm always open to stuff that they want to do. I do it all the time. They're talking about me doing a video, like a vlog right now. But I'm just too busy right now. I can't do it until I come back till April. Till after my Europe, I'm going to be all over Europe doing a big Q&A thing and then a bunch of DDP Yoga workshops.
Man, it's amazing how DDP Yoga is evolving and just growing at this pace. Like I told you before, my name's Jay Oleto. I'm from Tom's River, and I never thought I'd be a yoga guy. I hit the gym all the time. I'm a gym guy. I'm a gym rat. I like going to the gym. I like lifting weights, and I never thought I'd do it. And finally, you know what? I borrowed it from a friend. I tried it out, and then I reached out to you through your website and to contact you to come on the radio show tonight because as soon as I did it, I was like, this thing is awesome, and I really enjoyed it. So, and you were gracious enough to send me a copy, and I have my own DDP Yoga program now, and I can't put it over enough. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to give you just one last opportunity before we let you go. And once again, thank you so much for coming on. Just one last opportunity to tell the wrestling fans out there how important it is to get in physical condition and how much it'll affect their life in a positive way in the future.
Well, you know, it all comes down to you wouldn't put shit in your car. You wouldn't piss in your tank, but you do it in your mouth every day. If you're eating fast food, it's not fast food. Call it what it is. Fast, fake food. It's why our obesity is running wild in our country. They've changed, they've genetically changed the food. And all I do is I eat food the way your great-great-grandparents used to eat, when it was real food. So the food is pivotal. And the workout, from 20 minutes on up, anybody can do what I'm doing. Anybody. I got a kid right now. Most people, none of us are baseball fans, wouldn't know who Chris Benson is. But back in the 90s, Chris Benson was maybe 2000. It was late 90s. He was a number one draft pick for baseball. And he went on to have a pretty decent career. He could have had an amazing career, but had some injuries. Well, his son is 17 right now, and he'll probably end up being like 6'6", 6'7". He has grabbed a hold of this workout, and the eating plan that I'm giving him right now, we are documenting everything this sophomore baseball player who's already throwing as a sophomore 83 miles an hour.
Wow.
He will be throwing over 100 miles an hour within the next 3, maybe 5 years. But this kid has got a work ethic second to none. And that's the kind, what you get out of DDP Yoga from this being a guy who's like Slim Gilliam, who was 601 pounds when he started and lost 203 pounds the first year. Guys like Thur, who not only lose weight, crazy 140 pounds of weight, but he loses all the appendages, the knee braces, the back brace, the wraparound canes, to this kid who's 17, who we are going to document everything. He's going to have the greatest run. Look at a guy like Rob Van Dam, flexible and strong. He's been hurt once in 25 years in the ring. 25. And to do it the way RVD does it, the way Jericho does it, they don't friggin' walk and talk. They shake, rattle, and roll. That's the way those guys roll. That's just their gimmick. That's what they do, like Shawn Michaels did. So another guy who did DDP Yoga. Don't listen to anything I have to say about the program. If you're interested in it and you want to learn more about it, where it will not be biased from anything I'm saying, go to DDP YOGA on Facebook. DDP Yoga, one word. Read what people write, and then go to ddpyoga.com and start to own your life. Fellas, and especially because you're Jersey boys, you got a special spot in my heart. Keep me posted and let me know when you hit that diamond cutter workout. All right, brother?
Oh, absolutely. DDP, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. I'm overwhelmed right now. This has been an honor and a privilege for me.
Well, my honor, brother. Have a great night, guys, all right?
Absolutely, and we'll be in touch in the future.
See ya.